Good afternoon. Thanks for being here. My name's Alex Murphy. I'm the co-founder and CEO of JobSync. We are building a talent acquisition automation platform, and I'm going to distill down thousands and thousands of days into the next 5 minutes and 42 seconds. I'm going to go through a couple things. Number one, the problem we're trying to address, our solution, what our market looks like, where we are, and where we're headed. So in short, recruiting is really difficult. It's becoming much, much more difficult. And whereas through past cycles, recruiting was the first thing to get chopped because of a pending recession, that hasn't happened. It's a number one priority for the C-suite. It's a really, really hard process. As Greg was just discussing, it's got problems that start with Gen Z and go all the way up to retirement. Our customers have struggled to recruit and to hire because recruiting in itself has become much, much less efficient. We really pin this down on two things. Kind of like what Miro was talking about earlier, conversion rate optimization is a problem. 19 out of 20 people that start the process of applying to jobs at enterprise companies don't. That means it's only 5% conversion rates for something that doesn't even have a transaction. It's kind of crazy. Why is this happening? In summary, it's because people expect instant experiences. They want to have things right at their fingertips. That doesn't happen in recruiting. What happens is that somebody starts at a marketplace or a job site like Indeed. They're then referred on to an applicant tracking system, which is like a CRM for recruiting. They're then presented with login forms and create accounts, and they do this over and over and over again. Ultimately, they abandon and just go watch some TikTok. The second point of inefficiency is that managing that applicant data when they actually do get it is a nightmare. It's a nightmare because the TA tech stack is now consists of 12 to 15, sometimes 20 or more systems for recruiters to use. In the olden days, the TA tech stack was a newspaper and a fax machine and a phone, and that was it. Over the last 10 to 15 years, there's been an explosion. There are now over 2,000 viable companies that are individual point service providers for recruiters in the TA process. What do? We integrate those solutions, we integrate the platforms, and we automate the processes that are otherwise done manually. What does this end up looking like for a candidate? It creates a seamless application experience, whether they're on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or Talent.com. We work around the world with Seek, JobStreet, OCC in Mexico, InfoJobs in Brazil. Pretty much any platform on the planet we can connect to and extract and pull that applicant data out of the job site and put it into the company's applicant tracking system. This results in a 300% increase in applications. It completely changes the game for recruiting teams. They go from 100+ days to hire down to less than 30 days in a snap. No need to wait for a QBR. We're connecting all the various tools that those companies are using. We're connecting their applicant tracking system, their programmatic ad buying tools, their job boards, the social media, the texting platforms, and on and on and on, eliminating all the manual work that those companies would otherwise have to do. Our market's huge. We sit inside of a broader HR tech market, which is $380 billion. The talent acquisition sliver of that is about $115 billion. Our automation market supporting the TA and HR tech stack is about a $7 billion market. That's calculated just in the US, based just on 10,000 enterprise companies, on a bottoms-up based on what we are currently selling. Our team's amazing. We have 35 people in the US, Argentina, and India. More than half of our team is focused on product and engineering. Our experience comes primarily from job boards, but we have practitioners that have been working 20+ years in recruiting as well. Our go-to-market strategy focuses in on enterprise companies with 2,000 or more employees. Our target person to speak with is generally the head of people operations or the chief people officer. It often gets elevated up to this chief operating officer of large enterprise companies and becomes their number one goal. We just onboarded a new customer that has 50,000 employees. They greenlit our product to go in so fast that we resolved all contract issues within a week. Anybody who's ever sold to an enterprise and you get through a contract in a week can understand where we stack in terms of their priorities. Our sales strategy is we do both direct and channel, and our pricing starts out at $2,500 a month, and we're SaaS-based. We charge the enterprise. We work across all industries, from logistics to healthcare, hospitality, and other places. And where we are right now is we're sitting at just over $1 million of ARR. We have over 50 enterprise clients. We will eclipse 2 million by the end of the third quarter and eclipse 3 million by the end of the year. So we're growing really fast. Our average order value is growing. It will more than double by July compared to the beginning of the year. We're going to finish off a safe note. We raised a little over $1 million at the end of last year and the beginning of this. We're raising 500,000 US this summer. We are a cash forward business. Most of our customers pay in advance. That helps us scale sales. We're looking for more partnerships with job sites, marketplaces, and others. And we're currently working on wrapping up a couple beta projects that connect into Facebook ads and their Facebook Leads program, Google for Jobs, and enabling campaign management. That's JobSync. If you want to learn more, please get in touch with me on the app this afternoon or tomorrow. Thank you.
Fantastic. Alex, thank you very much. Who'd like to go first? Your turn.
Thanks, Alex. I can't pretend to know too much about this type of business, but what I do know, and I think you mentioned that you, working with enterprises, the sales cycle can be a massive challenge in terms of time. So did you say that you'd got that down to 1 week from initiating contact into making a contract at 30,000 a year? Because that would be excellent if you did.
Yeah, no, so the 1 week was specifically related to getting a contract through the legal team in an enterprise organization. It is not uncommon for us to go from high to close in one call because the problem is so acute and so well understood. And it often happens because a customer might switch to a new applicant tracking system and watch the volume of candidates decline by 2/3. It's a very, very acute and specific problem that happens when, and it's entirely dependent upon that applicant tracking system. We are often introduced into a late stage in the buying process through recruitment advertising agencies. So we come walking in the door, if you will, as kind of the white knight to save the day because they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. This is the company. It could be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on advertising. It's completely inefficient. They know it. They feel it. They're not making the hires that they need to make. What's really changed in the marketplace today is most companies rely almost exclusively on their talent to derive the value of their organization. That's very, very different than 30, 40, 50 years ago, where tangible assets were the primary source of the asset value of a business. Today, it's your talent, right? It's intangible assets. And so all of that is just steamrolls into, we become an extraordinarily high priority all the way up into the C-suite almost immediately.
Can I just follow on?
Yeah.
So another question to that, who you're pitching within the organization, you're almost taking a job away from at the same time if you're really making it efficient. So do you have challenges of being sold to the C-suite by the HR manager?
No, not at all. Roughly a quarter of recruiters' time today is spent doing manual tasks that we can eliminate. That means that they can actually then contact the candidate. Because a recruiter's job is to sell the opportunity of working for that company. Yeah. And instead, what they are is they're Excel jockeys. They download CSVs, munch them together between different systems. They build elaborate VLOOKUP tables and pivot tables, and then they upload it into a new system, and they are moving data, which they hate. And they're not really all that good at it. Our computers are really, really good at doing that, repetitive tasks. So the recruiters see us as a savior.
Gonzalo?
I was going to say, I understand this problem, so it is a huge problem. So, and I've seen a lot of solutions before. I think it's synchronized on all the, I think it's a good idea. My question is more about as a software as a service, but also being synchronized, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you're also connecting to some of the ERPs, for example, of the company, etc. Is there a setup fee? How long it takes to set up? So it's not just sign up and then. So how long it takes for the company? How painful is it, basically?
Yeah. It's extraordinarily painful. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
The more painful, the more sticky, right? So I'll say that we have a $2,500 or $7,500 setup fee that we waive if they pay in advance for the year to help us drive that cash forward cash economics, if you will. From a time to implement, our fastest tends to be about 2 weeks. The longest tend to be about 3 months. A lot of that is tied to the user acceptance testing that we do. I'll say that in summary, like 60% of our software is standardized and 40% is bespoke to that particular customer and getting everything configured and set up. And then there's a very, very small amount of maintenance after we get the setup done. But once it's in place, it's kind of like electricity. You don't think about it. You just pay the bill every month.
Yep. No, just following up on that. But would you say is there any personalizations or is it standard, the software is a standard?
Every single implementation is unique to that particular customer. So
Okay.
it's personalized to that particular company, what their process is. No two companies in the world recruit the same way. ATSs are vastly different from each other, and the way companies implement their applicant tracking systems is different from all of the other ones that are implemented.
Okay, thank you.
A couple of quick questions. One is, to what extent are you making the hiring decisions? Do you have any AI-based intelligence that makes hiring decisions?
No, we are like the anti-AI, right? We just take stuff that you're doing manually and eliminate the manual process in that to make it so that we are enabling the humans to do what they do really well.
Right, which is understand why there's strong acceptance within an organization. Rather, I have an investment in a business that does blue-collar workers. Think of burger flippers at McDonald's, and they're hiring 10,000, per year for companies because they just, get the resumes and then it's all electronically done because they can use the scanning of resumes and so on. We
look at the ecosystem and see like literally over 2,000 different companies that are creating highly specialized, and often in many cases, decision-making solutions.
Yes.
We're not trying to replace any one of them. We actually just want to be the white space in between to connect them so all the data stays in sync in all the systems that they need it to be in, rather than it being siloed and stale.
Right, cool. Well, thank you very much. And just overall, some feedback. I think it was a good presentation, well-paced, which I thought was good, and a very good articulation of both the problem and the size of the opportunity. So well done. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.